I never thought I'd be the guy writing something like this, but here I am. My name's Mike, and I've been with my wife, Lisa, for about 8 years now. We got married on what was supposed to be the happiest night of our lives. Anniversary dinner, fancy restaurant, the whole 9 yards. Or at least that's what I thought it was going to be. We had a pretty smooth relationship up until that night, honestly. Nothing too crazy, no huge fights, just the usual ups and downs that everyone goes through. I thought we were solid. I mean, she was a bit bitchy sometimes, who is? But she was funny and smart, and most importantly, she seemed to genuinely care about me. The first sign something was off started a few weeks before our anniversary. Lisa had been acting strange. She was more distant, avoiding me more than usual, canceling plans last minute. I noticed her phone was always glued to her hand, hiding it when I came into the room. I didn't think much of it at the time, just assumed she was stressed or busy with work. But then I'd catch her lying about where she was or who she was talking to. Nothing concrete, just little things that didn't add up. Still, I brushed it off. I wanted to believe she was just stressed or working late, even when my gut was telling me something wasn't right. The night of our anniversary, I had planned everything. Reservations at her favorite restaurant, flowers, a little gift I'd gotten her. We'd been talking about going away for a weekend, just the two of us. I was excited, you know. Thought maybe this year would be different, better. But that night everything changed. We got to the restaurant and she was unusually cold. Not the usual playful Lisa I knew. She was distracted, checking her phone constantly, and I caught her sneaking little glances at her screen when she thought I wasn't looking. I remember feeling a weird knot tighten in my stomach, but I brushed it aside. I didn't want to ruin the night. Then something happened that I never saw coming. I left my wallet in the car, so I went out to get it. When I came back inside, I saw her. Her phone was on the table, and she was typing something. I peeked over her shoulder without meaning to, and what I saw made my blood run cold. There was a message from some guy, and it wasn't just a friendly happy anniversary or have a good night. No, it was more than that. They'd been having sex. She was cheating on me. I saw the words explicit, dirty messages, plans to meet, even a picture of her in some hotel room. I don't know how I didn't faint right there. My head spun, my chest felt like it was caving in. All the love, trust, everything just shattered in that moment. I stared at her, and she looked up at me, caught in the act, with that bitchy smirk on her face like she knew she was getting away with something. That's when I realized I didn't even know who she really was. I stood there frozen, staring at her like I'd just been hit by a freight train. My mind was racing. How long? How many times? Who was this guy? The anger started bubbling up, but beneath it was this sick, sinking feeling of betrayal that I couldn't shake. I wanted to scream, to shout, to break something. But instead I just stood there, watching her smirk as if she thought she was the smartest, most clever woman alive. That moment, everything I believed about her, about us, felt like it was crumbling. I felt like I was drowning in disbelief. Lisa finally looked up at me, flashing that nasty little grin, and said, "Oh, Mike, come on, it's not what you think, you're overreacting. I was just talking to him, nothing serious." Her voice was caustic, dismissive, like she was trying to brush off something huge. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Just like that, she was lying again. That bitchy edge in her voice, her dismissiveness, it made me want to punch the wall. I could feel the rage boiling over, but I also felt this crushing sadness. How could she do this? How could she look me in the eyes and lie straight to my face? I asked her, "How long has this been going on? How many times have you seen him?" She shrugged, rolled her eyes, and said, "It's none of your damn business. We're not married to each other, remember that." That's when I lost it. My hands trembled, and I yelled at her to stop lying, to tell me the truth. But she just kept up her act, throwing out excuses. I was stressed. It was just sex. You're not enough anymore. All the standard bullshit women like her use when they get caught. She even had the nerve to call me insecure, say I was jealous for no reason. I was stunned. Completely stunned. I felt a strange mixture of heartbreak and rage. I wanted to smash something, but I also wanted to run away, hide from the pain. I never thought she'd cheat on me, not like that, especially not on our anniversary. That was supposed to be a celebration of us, a reminder of the life we built. Instead, it turned into something else entirely, an explosion I never saw coming. I looked at her and I saw her true colors, bitchy, manipulative, and totally indifferent to what I was feeling. That's when I knew I had to confront her, but I also knew the hardest part was just beginning. How do you forgive something like that? How do you even begin to trust her again after she's lied so blatantly? It's like my whole world flipped upside down in under a minute. After the initial shock wore off, I just stood there feeling numb but furious all at once. The room seemed too small, like the walls were closing in. My mind was racing, trying to process what I'd seen, what I'd just heard. She kept denying, twisting her words, acting like I was the crazy one for even thinking she could betray me like that. I couldn't believe how she kept lying, playing the victim, like I was the one overreacting. That bitchy attitude of hers only made me more furious. Honestly, I'd never seen her like that, so cold, so dismissive, so damn manipulative. I remember telling her, "You're a terrible liar. I saw the messages, I saw the pictures. How many times? Was this just a one-night thing, or has it been going on for months?" She scoffed and rolled her eyes again. "You're so paranoid, Mike. You think I'm cheating on you just because I talked to a guy. Grow up. I was just having a little fun. It's not like I'm leaving you for him." Hearing her say that she wasn't planning to leave, just made the rage boil hotter. That's when I realized she was more committed to her lies than to us. I told her I needed some time to think, and I left the restaurant, walking out into the cold night with that sick feeling in my stomach. I didn't know what to feel: anger, heartbreak, disgust. I felt betrayed, not just by her, but by everything I'd ever believed about our marriage. How could someone I loved so much do this? Did I mean nothing to her? Was I just someone she settled for? All these questions blurred together, and honestly, I couldn't find the answers that night. All I knew was I couldn't stay there, not after what I just found out. Over the next few days, I kept replaying everything in my head. The texts, the hotel pictures, her dismissive attitude when I confronted her. It all felt like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. I'd always been a guy who believed in loyalty, who thought that if you loved someone, you'd never cheat. Turns out I was wrong. Sometimes people just don't give a damn about the vows or the life they're supposed to build. Lisa had made her choice, and I was the one left standing in the wreckage. The worst part: I kept asking myself if I'd missed signs, if there was something I could have done differently to prevent this. But deep down, I knew. I just didn't want to see the truth until it was staring me right in the face. The days that followed were some of the hardest I've ever gone through. Every time I looked at her, I saw that smug, bitchy expression on her face when she lied, and it made me want to scream. But what hurt even more was knowing that she didn't seem to care about how much she destroyed us. She kept acting like she was the victim, like I was overreacting or making a big deal out of nothing. That attitude only fueled my rage and sadness at the same time. I tried to talk to her again, hoping to get some honest answers, but she just dismissed me every time. "You're overthinking it," she'd say, "or you're being paranoid. I don't know what you want me to say." I knew she was lying, but hearing her deny everything, acting like she was innocent, made me feel even more betrayed. I couldn't understand how someone I loved could be so manipulative, so downright bitchy when caught. I wondered if she ever really loved me, or if I was just a placeholder for her to use until she found something better. One night I decided I couldn't keep pretending everything was fine. I sat her down, looked her right in the eyes, and told her I knew about the affair. Her reaction was almost laughable. She rolled her eyes again, scoffed, and said, "Oh, give me a break, Mike. You're making a big deal out of nothing. I was just having fun, okay? Sex is sex. It doesn't mean anything. You're just jealous because I'm not satisfied with you anymore." That's when I really saw her for what she was: a selfish, bitchy woman who thought she could get away with anything. Her excuses didn't hold water. I could see through every single one of them. She was quick to turn things around, make it seem like I was the problem, like I was insecure or crazy. But I was. I knew what I saw, and I knew she was lying. That night, I told her I needed space, that I wasn't sure if I could stay married to someone who lied and cheated on me like that. I felt the weight of everything crashing down on me: my trust, my love, my sense of stability. I didn't want to believe she'd do this, but I couldn't ignore the truth anymore. She was a different person, and I was left to pick up the pieces of what I thought was a happy life. The days after that confrontation dragged on endlessly. I threw myself into work, trying to drown out the constant replay of her betrayal. But even then, every little thing reminded me of her. Her scent on my pillow, her voice on my voicemail, the way she used to smile when she thought I wasn't looking. The betrayal cut so deep I wondered if I'd ever be able to trust again, not just her but anyone. I was questioning everything, my judgment, my feelings, the future I'd envisioned with her. One night I went through her phone again just to make sure I wasn't missing anything. I found more messages, more plans, more lies. The worst part, seeing that she'd actually been sneaking around even after I'd confronted her, even after she claimed it was over. It was like she was daring me to leave, daring me to be the jealous guy she could manipulate. It made me realize she wasn't remorseful at all. She was just sorry she got caught. That bitchy, manipulative side of her was now on full display, and I felt a wave of disgust washing over me. I finally decided I had enough. I told her we needed to talk seriously about what to do next. She kept acting like she was the victim, saying, "You're overreacting, Mike. You're just insecure. I didn't mean for it to go this far." I couldn't believe how dismissive she was, how she could lie so easily, as if she didn't care what I was feeling. I realized I couldn't keep pretending everything was okay, that I could forgive and forget. Trust was shattered, and I knew I'd never look at her the same way again. So I made my decision. I told her I wanted a separation. I couldn't stay married to someone who lied so blatantly, who played me for a fool. The pain was awful, but I also felt some strange sense of relief. I knew I'd survived a huge betrayal, and though it was going to take time to heal, I was finally taking control of my life again. Looking back, I see how naive I was, how I didn't see the signs before. But now I understand. I have to protect myself from people like her. Sometimes, love isn't enough when someone is willing to throw everything away for a quick fuck or some meaningless sex. It's a harsh lesson, but one I'll carry with me forever. Now, sitting here reflecting on everything, I realize how much I've changed since that night. The betrayal didn't just break my heart. It shattered my trust in people, in love, in the idea that I could count on someone to be faithful and honest. But I also learned something vital, how strong I am, even when I thought I was at my weakest. Moving on isn't easy, and I won't pretend it is. Every day is a struggle, a reminder of what I lost, but it's also a step toward healing. I've started to rebuild my life piece by piece. I've cut out her toxic influence, stopped obsessing over what she did, and focused on myself. I've realized that some people, like her, are just pure manipulative bitches who will lie, cheat, and twist everything to their advantage. And honestly, I'm better off without her. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. If there's one thing I want anyone reading this to take away, it's this. Don't stay in a toxic relationship just because you're afraid of being alone or because you think love can fix everything. Sometimes, the biggest act of self-respect you can do is walk away. It hurts like hell, but in the long run, it's the only way to truly free yourself. Trust me, I'm still healing, but I'm stronger than I was. I now see the warning signs better, and I understand that once someone shows their true colors, you can't unsee them. So yeah, this was one of the worst experiences of my life. But I'll survive. And someday I hope to find someone who actually values honesty, loyalty, and respect. Until then, I keep moving forward, one day at a time, learning from what happened and never letting someone treat me like that again. That's the real lesson I take from all of this.